Course 2, Study Guide number 6. Number 1. Arrange these fractions in order from least to greatest. Let's put them in order first by getting common denominators. Well, the smallest number that 4 and 3 and 12 will go into is 12. So I'm going to take 3/4 and I'm going to multiply it by 3 over 3 because 3 times 4 is 12, so 3 times 3 is 9. Then I'll take the 2/3 and I want to get it to a denominator of 12. So I'm going to multiply by 4 over 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. And then my third fraction is 5/12. So if I'm going from the smallest, now that I have common denominators, 5/12 is the smallest. And then 8 next is the smallest, 8/12, which is our 2/3. And then 9/12 is the biggest one, which is our 3/4. Number 2. If we're going to subtract 1/3 from 5/6, we again need to have common denominators, and I'm going to write it up and down like this. And the common denominator is 6. To get 1/3 to a denominator of 6, I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2, because 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. 5/6 already has a denominator of 6, so we're going to multiply by 1 over 1 and get 5/6 minus 2/6, which will leave me 3/6, which if you divide by 3 over 3 is equal to 1/2. Number 3. The Bennetts completed 20% of their 1,500-mile trip the first day. How many miles did they travel the first day? 20% of 1,500 of is multiplication, so we've got 20% times 1,500. Now you can do 20% as a decimal. If you take the percent sign off and move your decimal 2 places, you'll get 0.2 or 0.20, whichever way you prefer to write it, times the 1,500. So I can go over here and multiply 1,500 times 0.2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10, carry 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And don't forget your 1 0. So you will get 300, and the units are miles. Now, another way you can work it, you can take 20% and write it as a fraction, which reduces to, I'm going to divide by 10 and get 2/10. I'm going to divide by 2 over 2 and get 1/5. So I can take 1/5 of 1,500. I'm going to put that over 1. I can multiply and then divide, or I can cancel. And 5 goes into 5 one time and into 1,500 3 times. So 300 times. So on top you have 300 over 1, which is 300 miles. So there's 2 different ways that you can work. Number 4. If the perimeter of a square is 5 feet, how many inches long is each side of the square? So before we do anything, let's change our 5 feet to inches. Well, we know there is 12 inches in each foot, so if I multiply 12 times 5, 10 carry 1, I'll get 60 inches. So if we have a perimeter of a square and all the sides have to be the same, then I have 60 inches around, and if I divide 4 into 60, it goes 1 time. Subtract, you get 2. Bring down your 0. 4 goes into 25 times. So each side has to be 15 inches. And then that was the question they asked. How many inches long is each side of the square? So you have to be careful when you've got mixed units here. Okay, we're multiplying 3/5 times 1 2/3. So the first thing I'm going to do is make them fractions. 3/5 is a fraction. But 1 2/3, 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5/3. Got quite a bit of canceling. You can either multiply and get 15 over 15 and reduce, or you can cancel 5 and 5, each go 1 time, and 3 and 3 each go 1 time, and you get 1 over 1, which is just 1. Round 2,356 to the nearest hundred. Okay, the first thing I need to do is find hundreds place, which is the 3. And the 5 is going to make the 3 go up 1. So 2 stays the same, 3 goes up 1, and your tens and ones place become zeros. Evaluate, which just simply means to work out, to find what it's going to be equal to, x squared plus y squared, if x is 3 and y is 5. So let's put 3 in for x and put 5 in for y. And 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. So 9 plus 25 is 34. Number 8. Ben ran a mile in 5 minutes, 18 seconds. How many seconds did it take him to run the mile? Well, we already have 18 seconds in seconds, but we need 5 minutes in seconds. Well, we know that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So if we multiply by 5, then 5 minutes will be 300 seconds. So that's the 5 minutes, and then you need to add the 18 seconds to it, and you'll get a total of 318 seconds. Number 9. 8 squared equals a plus 6 squared. So 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64, equals a plus 6 squared, which is 6 times 6, which is 36. So I need to know what number added to 36 will give me 64. So let's go over here and subtract 36 from 64. Do a little borrowing. 6 from 14 is 8. 3 from 5 is 2. So a would have to be 28. And you can check it by literally adding, put a check mark over here, and I can add the 28 and the 36 and make sure that it does add up to 64, and then that verifies that the answer is 28. Okay, to divide fractions, we are going to use the KFC, but before I can do that, they have to be fractions. So 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2. I'm going to leave it division. 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5/4. So now that I have fractions, I can keep the first one as a fraction, keep it the same. Then I'm going to flip the second one, which would become 4/5, and change the division to multiplication. And we have a little bit of canceling. 2 will go into 2 one time, and 2 will go into 4 two times. 7 times 2 is 14, and 1 times 5 is 5. I probably will ask on the test to go ahead and write it as a mixed number. So if you divide 5 into 14, it goes 2 times, with 4 left over. So my mixed number would be 2 and 4/5. Use prime factorization to find the greatest common factor of 20 and 36. So let's go over here and do the factor tree of 20. 2 goes 10 times. And we're going to keep doing 2's until we run out. So 2 goes into 10 5 times. So that's it. Those are prime. So 20 is equal to 2 times 2 times 5. Start 36, we're doing prime factorization, so again we'll do divide by 2 as long as we can. And the 2 goes again 9 times. Now 2 won't go anymore, but now 3 will go, and it'll go 3 times. When the bottom number is prime, we're through. So 36 is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Now the GCF is what they have alike, greatest common factor, what they have in common. Well, each one have a 2. And another 2. So the GCF is what they have alike, which is 2 times 2, which is 4.